All right, we are live for the Monday, August 9th edition of the MMAOB Daily Podcast. I'm your host, as always, Adam Martin, and I'm joined by Big Marcel this week. Back on Monday, Marcel, back to the usual time slot. How's it going, my man? How are you?
All good, man. All good. How are you doing?
Marcel, things are good, man. You know, it's been a crazy week, but a good week, man. Like, life's good right now, you know. Obviously, having a kid's not easy. I mean, I'll tell you that. So, you know, my friends weren't lying when they're like, get as much sleep as you can. I mean, I just try to, whenever I can, Marcel, I'll try to get like a quick little like nap in, you know, because there's a lot to do, right? So it's crazy, but it's been a good time. And of course, I did get to watch UFC on the weekend. My daughter's first time watching UFC. So that was pretty cool. And she'll always remember that. They did put my tweet up during the Menfield fight. So
I saw that.
Yeah, and I changed my picture now. It's got me and her because you know, she's part of me now, right? So that was cool, Marcel, making your TV debut at age 4. I think that's pretty cool. But yeah, I want to talk about the card with you, man. I mean, there's a lot to talk about, obviously. A lot of talking points coming out of this card, guys. UFC 265. Picks, by the way. How did you do in your picks again? I got 8. I mean, it was okay, I guess, but
8-5, same.
Yeah, same as you. Yeah. There's a few I wish I had back, but overall, I mean, I don't have a problem getting 8 after the debacle was last week, Marcel. I'll take 8 any day after that card. Yeah. Nightmare card. Alex, what's going on, man? Glad to have you here, buddy. Anyways, Marcel, let's start with the main event. Let's work our way down, as always. Ciryl Gane, man, puts on a show. I predicted the knockout. Did you say knockout decision? I can't remember what you predicted.
I said decision, but I said, like, it's possible that he finishes him in the later rounds.
I felt pretty good about him finishing this fight, honestly, just because Derrick's cardio is just not good. He just gets tired every single fight, and this was, like, no different, really. But, I mean, the fight wasn't even close, Marcel. It was a dominant performance by Ciryl Gane, guys. Like, it wasn't close. Derrick didn't even come close to landing that punch because Ciryl does such a good job of keeping range. He does a better job than probably anyone in this division, which is why, Marcel, now he's fighting Francis Ngannou to unify the belt, and the odds are out, and Gane's actually slightly favored right now. So some people might think that's a little crazy, but, I mean, I understand there's some recency bias towards that, but I think this is a really close fight. I mean, I honestly have no idea. I got to look into it, but right now, I would say that Ciryl Gane seems like the more well-rounded guy. So, I mean, he's definitely a little bit the weight is going to be in the Ngannou side, the sheer power, but you talk about technique, speed, the wrestling, the submission game. I mean, a lot of it points to Ciryl Gane, the cardio as well. So give me your thoughts on Ciryl Gane, Marcel. I'm blown away by this guy, what he's done in 3 years. Only 3 years he's been in this sport for, and now he's a UFC champion. Give me your thoughts on Ciryl Gane.
He's a special athlete, man. He's a special athlete, definitely a heavyweight. We haven't seen a heavyweight like him in a long time. I can't even recall anymore. He is so quick. He knows what he does. He keeps his distance, picks his shots. Yeah, I love it, man. I know many people just want to see heavyweights going at it, getting a quick knockout. But man, if you can fight like him at heavyweight, you can go a long way, man. You know, and let's, like you said, let's not forget. 3 years ago, he made his debut, and now he wins his interim title in the UFC. And I haven't picked against him so far in his UFC career, and I'm happy I didn't, because I saw when I saw this guy making his debut, he had a lot of hype behind him. He got that TKO belt in his first fight, you know, and he beat in the second fight, the defense, he beat Adam Ditchka. I think he was a guy many people were looking at from Canada to sign with a big promotion, and he beat him in the second fight, and then he won another one, and then he went to the UFC. So he had some hype behind him, and everybody was like, he has a great kickboxing Muay Thai style, and that's this and kind of that. And he finished his first 2 fights, I think, with a submission, you know, and also a heel hook, I think, against Dontel Mays. And he submitted Rafael Pessoa in his debut, which is a BJJ black belt, I think. So, yeah, and he only became better, man. I think he's absolutely a great fighter. I'm on the train, man. I was for a long time. I'm on the wagon, man, on the bandwagon, but I was for a long time. So yeah, he's great.
Yeah, no, he is. He's special, like you said. Like I was saying, he's like a natural, right? Like he just gets the sport really well. He understands the game, and I mean, I was blown away by his performance. Like I just thought it was such a dominant performance. Like he just completely shut down Lewis in this fight. Now, I got to get your thoughts, man. Like the Gane versus Gane. I mean, any early thoughts on the fight? I'm not asking you to make a pick or anything, but any early thoughts on that fight because it's going to happen next.
Yeah, let's listen, man. It's actually very simple. If Ngannou is not able to knock him out, he's gonna lose to him.
Yeah.
That's pretty simple in my opinion, you know. And the thing is, I know they didn't train a lot with each other, but they have sparred with each other and train with each other sometime, so they know how they stand, how they probably they know more from each other than you fight somebody else, you know, because you train with each other before. But yeah, that will also have a factor, man, because Fernando Lopez, who was the former trainer of Ngannou, will be in Ciryl Gane's corner, you know, against Ngannou. So there are some sentiments in this fight as well. So I think it worked perfect for the UFC. You know, I think this is a much more fun fight, in my opinion, than Ngannou against Lewis. But I think people will disagree because they think like Ngannou is a knockout king and Lewis is a knockout king, so there will be a knockout. We saw the first fight. Don't say the second fight would be the same, but you know, this is a fresh matchup. This is a matchup with a story behind it. So
Hmm.
I love it. Actually, it's a great matchup.
Yeah, no, I love it too. I love it too. Jose, what's going on, man? Glad to have you in the chat. Yeah, I think it's a great fight. I'm looking forward to it as well. Now, as far as Lewis goes, we didn't talk about him really. I mean, he pretty much got blown out in this fight, but the guy obviously still one of the top 5 ranked heavyweights. I want to say he's like number 2 or 3 still. So, what's next for him, man? What are you thinking? Like,
Yeah, I don't know, man. I would prefer if, and I say if, Jairzinho Rosenstruck gets past Blades, which is a task very difficult task. I'd love to see Lewis against Rosenstruck. You know what I mean? And that would be a great fight. I think. People say maybe against Stipe, but I think Stipe still has his eyes on the title fight or even on John Jones.
yeah.
So I don't see that happen. But yeah, I think that would make the most sense. But yeah, if Blades wins, yeah, what you gonna do? I don't know.
Jose said, is it fair to say heavyweight division's heating up, contenders, prospects fighting, putting on fun matchups? Yeah, it definitely. I mean, there's younger guys coming in the sport. Like, Gon is pretty young still. I mean, he's only 31. That's crazy. He's actually younger than me, which is crazy. Like,
it was about
cool.
damn time, man. This heavyweight division was like for years it has been going with all. Yeah, I don't want to say old guys because you're not old, but in the sport you're an old guy when you're at your late 30s.
Yeah,
you know, it's the only division that has that pretty much, man, all the time.
Yeah, what I'm thinking right now is like I love Francis, right? Like I absolutely love the guy.
Yeah,
but
he's
I almost feel like he's going to be a guy that doesn't make a successful title defense. The more I think about it, like he's not young. He's turning 35 next month, guys. He's not young. Gon is
young. Older than Jose Aldo. It's crazy.
That's crazy. That is that by a day or something. But yeah, that is insane. I mean, listen, I love Ngannou. I'm just saying, like, he's got to get close to Gon to beat him. You can't beat him from the distance, right? Gon can beat him from a distance and up close, and he can take him to the ground. Again, I got to think about it, but like, I don't think that odds are wrong with having Gon as the slight favorite. I think it might be right. Anyways, what were you gonna say?
I don't know why people are so against Gane, man. I think he is
so
such
good.
a special and good athlete, and at heavyweight, you know. Finally, we have somebody at heavyweight who fights smart and who can go 5 rounds and can go, who can outsmart his opponent. You know what I mean? And I don't say the other heavyweights can, but he's in an extreme way he can. You know, he is a very high fight IQ, and at only 3 years as a professional in MMA, it's amazing. You know, we should be happy. We have a guy like this in heavyweight right now.
I agree.
You know, he's and also a great dude, very nice, very polite, bon gamin. So yeah.
I was gonna say he does follow me on Twitter, so I actually have a UFC champ following me now, which is pretty cool. I don't think anyone else has. I'm sure you have a bunch, obviously following you, but for me, it's kind of cool. I'm just looking at Ngannou's record and Gon's record. Gon's only been in the UFC for 2 years. He already has 7 fights. Ngannou's been in the UFC for 5. He's actually going into his 6th year soon. And he's an 11-2 record. So only 4 less wins for Gane. I mean, that's not a ton less. The guy is fighting a lot, you know, which I like Marcel. Like, he fights a lot, fights often. Not last year, only fought once, but this year, 3 times. Have you heard anything about the date? We're looking at next year, I'm assuming, like early next year for the Gane. Yeah, no idea. Too soon to tell. I would imagine they want to do it in Paris, guys, if they could, but I have no idea what the travel is going to be. And Dana doesn't either, honestly. But I think ideally it'd be nice to do it in Paris. What were you going to say?
Yeah, it's gonna be fucked up, man. Because December 25th, that's a Saturday. That's Christmas. Then we got I think January 1st That's New Year's Day. That's also a Saturday.
Yeah.
Then we got what's the other? Then we got the first 2 weeks of January, where normally no UFC event ever is. So we can look at a month of no UFC fights in between December and January, man. So,
yeah, no, I know it's crazy, man. I'm excited to see what's going on next year. I mean, but it's gonna be nuts. All right, let me get this comment from Jose. He says, if Dawkins knocks out Shamil, do you think him and Lewis would be too soon for Dawkins? Actually, that'd be a good fight. I think that would be fine. They might do that. I could see them doing that. We're gonna say
perfect.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea, actually, Jose, because I know they like Kyle, or not. Sorry, not Kyle. Chris Dawkins, not Kyle Dawkins. Yeah. They like Chris a lot. I like Chris. And I think if he beats Shamil, which is not an easy fight, by the way, it's a tough fight. But if he beats him, then he, definitely was going to get a guy who's going to get a big push. Kensiro's here. What's up, man? Jones will kill Gane. Yeah, I mean, I think still Jones is the guy to beat for everyone to beat. I still think Jones is the best in the world. He's saying just because Gane beat underachiever like Lewis doesn't mean he's the guy to beat Jones. Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to say that he's going to beat John Jones. I mean, I don't even want to think about that fight right now because we have the Francis one. But, for Francis, I think he can beat. I really do.
Jones might be the only guy I maybe favor.
Yeah, exactly. We're gone, right? Yeah, I actually agree with both you guys, so that's fair. Ryan says, great analysis, guys. Thanks, man. He says, casual fans don't appreciate Gane's technical skill, prefer the power shots of Lewis and Francis. I mean, I can see that. If you're a casual fan, you just want to see some knockouts, some blood. I get that. But, for people who truly love MMA and from watching it for years, like us, and I'm sure a lot of you guys in there, when have we seen a heavyweight like this? He's just a special guy. Yeah. We see knockout artists all the time, right? When have you seen a guy like this that can go 25 minutes, that can take you to the ground, that can beat you standing? He's so great. He's an unusual talent. And I thought Nagano was so good. I thought Nagano was the special guy. I think this is the guy. This is the really special guy, guys. It really is. It's Gane. So I'm blown away by him. And I want to say, a lot of us were complaining about the fight, a few months ago, saying, why did they book this fight? But after seeing it, I'm just glad they did it because now he's got the belt. They're forced to do the fight with Nagano now. I would assume. You can't do another fight while two guys have the belt, right? They can't do John Jones and Nagano while Cyryl's the interim champ, right? Please don't do that. I hope we don't see that.
Adam, I gotta
ask you guys fight. Yeah, go ahead.
I gotta ask you what you thought about the walkout song from Ciryl Gane, where the people thought that was Lewis who was walking out.
What was it again? I can't remember. What was it?
It was a Houston artist, so people were like, "Oh, this is Lewis," but it was Gane, so they were cheering.
That's funny. I like Ciryl.
Yeah, me too.
Daniel Corey beat Lewis faster and easier. Gone. I'm not sure. Kenshiro, I still think that me and Marcel, we probably do favor Jones over anyone, but the Gano and Gane is just that's a even fight.
You get DC against Lewis. DC is a really very good wrestler, wrestling based, and you knew he was going to get him to the ground and he was going to finish him there, and even ankle picked him. So I'm not surprised with that,
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Oleinik was dominating him on the ground too, 2 fights ago. Oleinik was almost submitting him, remember? And Oleinik's 40, 44 or something, 45. Jose says, I think Gane is a freak athlete. Underrated and good his fight IQ and skills are. No, I don't think we're just saying he's a freak athlete at all. I think we're saying he's a natural. I don't know what Marcel's saying, but I'm saying he's a natural in MMA. He gets the game better. So I agree with you, Jose, and you, Marcel. I think me and Marcel on the same page with you, Jose. We just think he's a very smart fighter. His fight IQ is through the charts. And to be honest with you, that's why I think John Jones has been so successful, because he has such a fight IQ. And there's a lot of guys like Stipe has a fight IQ, for instance. There's a lot of, although he fought really dumb in his last fight, as we saw, and get KO. But there's a lot of guys like Demetrius Johnson has a high fight IQ. Dominic Cruz has a high fight IQ. These guys have successful careers. But Gane also has, like you said, the athleticism, the power. The thing is, it's crazy, right? He hasn't even been training Muay Thai even for that long. I heard a story. I think he was working as a waiter or something, I want to say, and he was just like, I just wanted to start doing Muay Thai. And was like, I'll take a fight, and then just got into it. It's in his 20s. He hasn't been doing it his whole life. He's new at this game still. Guy's amazing, man. I love this dude. Kenshiro loves the knock. We all do, Kenshiro. Jose saying DC beat Lewis at Lewis's worst area, while Gane beat Lewis at his own game. That's true as well. I agree with that.
Now, let me ask a question to Kenshiro. You love the knockout, but what about if you have a fight, 5 rounds, 2 heavyweights? Let's say we have Lewis and Gane again, and it will be the same. I don't say it will be the same, but imagine it will be the same as the first time. Would you love that? Would you love a guy who fights like Gane, who picks his shots, who is smart, but still is active, and isn't gassed after one or 1.5 round? Because you're pretty much banking on the knockout with the heavyweights. But it's not only always that way. If you have a quick knockout, of course, everybody is cheering, everybody loves it. But if you don't have it, then I prefer a technical striker over a knockout if they can get a knockout, and that's more the chance normally with lower ranked heavyweight fighters that have that. So it's kind of you can see it from a positive side, you can see it from a negative side, of course. You can see it from both sides.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. All right, any more thoughts on this main event before we go to the other fights? Anything else you want to say about Gane or Lewis?
Yeah, great fight by Gane, man, and much deserved win. So that's pretty much it.
And he got a bonus. We got to mention that John Morgan got him the bonus.
Yeah, shout out to John Morgan.
Yeah, because Dana White didn't give him one. And then John was like, "Hey, I'm surprised you didn't give Ciryl one." He's like, "Oh yeah, we forgot Ciryl. We'll give him a bonus." Like, how do you forget the guy who's the main event?
And finally, they gave more bonuses now.
Yeah, they did give up. So this is actually becoming a trend on the pay-per-views. Yeah. UFC 262 in Houston. The Chandler Oliveira card, they gave out extra bonuses, or 75,000 that night.
75,000, yeah.
263, did they give out? Let me double check if they did 263. I want to double check. But I know at 264 they did again. 263 they didn't, but 264, which was McGregor Poirier, they gave out 75,000, and then obviously they gave out the same amount, I guess, here because they gave out 6 bonuses. I mean, listen, we always shit in the UFC for not giving out bonuses. Let's give them some props for giving out some extra bonuses. You know what I mean, Marcel? Yeah, I mean, they should be paying these guys more. Yeah, they should give out bonuses for every finish. We've talked about this, but they don't. So let's give them some props here, guys. The UFC didn't have to go and give these extra bonuses. They did, and the fighters deserve them. So I'm glad they actually did that. I was even saying, I tweeted out saying, these are the 4 guys, the 4 they gave the bonuses to. I'm like, they'll probably give out these 4 performance bonuses to these 4, the 4 that got them. And someone was like, what about Fiziev and Green? They're going to just not give those guys money? And I'm like, well, they only give out 4 bonuses. You know that, right? I'm glad they gave out 6 more, so I'll say that right now. Kenshiro says, I didn't say I didn't like Gane. It was just a general for everyone. Beat Jones in MMA until someone beats him. Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, me and Marcel never said John Jones couldn't beat anyone or Gane or anyone. We were talking about Francis. Jose says, thoughts on Imavov Edmund. Oh, yeah, I guess we can talk about this really fast. I mean, Edmund and Imavov's kind of I'll be honest with you, man. I think it's a fight that Imavov probably wins. This guy's super good and super underrated. What are you going to
say? He asked pretty much why does Imavov gets Edmund and Holland is fighting Dawkins while Dawkins.
I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I didn't read the whole question. My apologies. He said thoughts on why is Dawkins fighting Holland while Haas fights Wayne. Okay, so we talked about that. It's basically like the UFC matchmakers thought that Haas lost to Imavov. That's why he got to fight Heinisch. That's what I think happened.
Well. That's what I think.
Yeah, exactly. I apologize. I didn't read the whole question, but I like the Imavov Edmund matchup. I just think Imavov is only 25. Yeah, Edmund's only 23, but Imavov is 25. No one's talking about, what about rushing Imavov? This guy's good, man. He can win that fight. The Dawkins Holland fight, I'm still scratching my head about. What are you going to say?
Also MMA Factory, by the way.
Imavov. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. He's another Fernan Lopez guy. That team's turning out champs right now. So 25 years old, coming off the biggest win of his career. I mean, this guy's very good, man. And again, a lot of people thought, including, I guess, Sean Shelby, that he beat Phil Haas in – it was a close fight. There's no doubt about it. Kenshiro says, Michael Chiesa got me angry, but easy back choke win to Luque. We'll talk about that fight in a sec. Can't wait to talk about that one with you. Dana said, I mean, it's a tough career to make money if you win. He doesn't care about losers. He did say that. He was saying something like that. And, truthfully, it's an opportunity. You get in, you get out. You try to make as much as you can, you get out. I mean, there's very few fighters that last a long time in this sport. So, I mean, listen, I don't love the comments he's making, but he's just telling the truth. It's the hard truth. Warren again, what's going on, man? He says he had a good weekend. He got Gane, TKO, Tisha decision. I had those 2, and then Luque sub. I didn't have that one. I knew it was definitely a possibility, but I had to make a pick. I thought Chiesa was going to out-grapple him, and he was for about 2 minutes, and then that Darce again, man, amazing. This is a random question. He's asking about Uberim and Rico Verhoeven. That fight's happening, right?
It's probably happening. Yeah, it's not.
I mean, Uberim's chin. I don't trust his chin, man, at all. On kickboxing, do you?
Yeah, I'm not really high on Rico Verhoeven, so yeah.
Sure.
I mean, I listen, man. The thing is, like I always say, man, people are crazy about Rico Verhoeven, but for him, it's like, is it a blessing that he is the champ right now and that he's better than anybody else, or is it not a blessing for him? Because if he was 15 years back and he was the best, he would have considered really being the best by the hardcore kickbox fans, But right now, the how do you say that? The opponents aren't that great anymore. You had 15 years ago, you had Badr Hari in his prime, you had Sammy Shield, you had Remy Bonjasky, you had Peter Arts, Ernesto Hoost a little bit longer back. Those were the legends. Jerome Benair. So you don't have those anymore. If I ask you right now, as an MMA guy, 5 heavyweight kickboxers, can you name them? Yeah, that's what I mean.
Alex, okay, you won. Yeah,
you have to think already.
I mean, I'm not a glory expert,
but I'm the same.
Yeah,
I'm the same. I have to think about it as well. And if I ask you 15 years ago, you can name them up right behind each other. You know what I mean?
Andy Hoog, all these Mirko Krokop,
that's what
of course, Mark Hunt.
There you go.
I know what you're saying. You're right. You actually just proved your point there, Marcel. Pretty good. To be honest, you proved it pretty good. All right, I feel like a dummy now because I don't follow the guy. I mean, I try to. I'll catch the highlights. Like I'm not going my way to watch glory. Not that it's a bad sport; it's a great sport. But I'm an MMA guy, man. There's only 24 hours in a day, man. It's not easy to watch it all. That's the truth. All right, so let me get this. You know what? Let's talk about this fight first. We'll talk about Luque before we talk about Aldo. So he's saying Morgan saying Luque Leon next. I'll talk about that in a second potentially. Oh, that's cool. But Jose. Okay, so let's talk about this fight. We'll talk about Aldo in a sec, but I want to talk about Luque and Chiesa because we were just talking about the finish. So, I mean, Chiesa, he was doing what he needed to do, and then he made a mistake. And this is not the first time he's made a mistake on the ground. That's the thing with Michael. Like, he's made a few mistakes on the ground, guys. He's been submitted 4 times now. And, I mean, I was watching the Masvidal fight again the other day, and I'm like, maybe he can get him in the darts, too. I had a feeling it could happen. I think we even talked about it as a possibility. At the end of the day, we can only make one pick. We can't pick both guys. I knew this was going to be an interesting fight, an intriguing fight, and a great fight, and it was. And it was impressive as hell. Luque won. So I mean, hats off to this guy. He is incredible. I love this guy. I mean, he's a fucking savage. Like that's exactly what I called him every single time. He's a savage, he's a killer. 14-3 in the UFC with 13 finishes. I mean, who else has that kind of record? This guy's awesome, man. I'm a huge Luque fan. I love the guy. 4 straight wins by stoppage now. Now. He does want to fight Usman next. He's an interesting guy in the division because he's never fought Usman, and he has momentum right now. So it's definitely possible, but Leon does kind of have the upper hand because during Leon's win streak, he has the win over Luque during the win streak. He hasn't lost since then. So for me, it's like if he hasn't, Marcel, because he hasn't lost during the streak, I don't think it'd be fair to go to Leon right now and be like, you have to fight the guy you fought 5 years ago again during your win streak. You know what I mean? Like, because he beat him a while ago. I want to see when it was. It was in 2017. Sorry, 4 years ago. But still, 4.5 years ago, Leon hasn't lost. So, I mean, I don't know, man. I don't think you can really go and be like, hey, you have to fight the same guy you beat in 2017, even though you haven't lost since then. So for me, it's going to be Covington, Usman, and then you give it to Edwards next. But the problem is Luque doesn't want to fight Burns, and those are the guys that probably should be fighting each other. They just don't want to fight each other because they're literally best friends. They call each other brothers. I don't know, Marcel. I mean, it's hard to say what they're going to do in this matchup. I think Nate Diaz, even though he doesn't deserve really a really interesting fight for Luque because he's almost impossible to finish. That's why I would like to see that fight for 5 rounds. I think it'd be a really interesting fight. I'm not saying Nate deserves him based on what he's done because he hasn't done much, but wouldn't that be an interesting fight for the most durable guy arguably in the division against the guy who finishes everyone? I think it'd be a fun fight. And right now, he needs a placeholder fight. So Masvidal too would be a good one too as well. Give me your thoughts, man. I talked a lot about it.
It's possible, man. I think Luque definitely needs one more before a title shot. That's my opinion. And I think Edwards, the sucky thing for Edwards is that Covington got it. So I think Edwards should fight Burns. The winner of that fight should fight for a title, and then we get Luque. We can match up Luque with either Diaz, with Masvidal, with all the other guys who are there, you know. And if you don't, listen, you can also do it like this, man. If you, for example, go like you do Kamaru Usman Covington right now, and you do Burns against Edwards, the winner of that fight fights the winner of that fight, and the loser of the title fight fights Luque, and the winner of that fight fights for the title.
I just think Luque is such an incredible story. I mean, he started his career 7-5-1. You know that, right? Like The guy was really nothing special.
I was huge on him already on Tough on the Ultimate Fighter, you know.
Yeah.
And then he lost in the finale. It wasn't the final, but he lost in the Tough finale event against Michael Grace. I was like, I didn't expect that at all, but he has been looking great since then, you know. Only
the guy's
Edwards
awesome.
And Thompson.
And what's so great about him is he's so well rounded, right? Like he finishes you on the feet, on the ground. There's a lot of comments, guys. Let me get to them. Daniel says UFC easy card to bet, cash 6 parlays. Yeah, the parlays were good in this card. Not last week, but this card they were good. I remember Chiesa and Tony was to fight in 2016. That would have been a good fight. Yeah, it would have been. We called the Darce last week plus 1400. Good job, man. I said, what's up, San Amigos? Yeah, I mean, I love Luque, but I had the bad pick there with Chiesa. Chiesa could be anyone. Lacks the killer instincts of Jones. He loves to murder his opponents. Maybe. I think he was just, I don't know. Chiesa's really good, but it's almost like he even said in his statement, he was like, he put too much pressure on himself. He's like, I needed to get this win. I was going to fight Usman if I won the fight. You can't go in there with that kind of pressure, man. You got to look at the guy ahead of you and be like, this is the guy I'm fighting. He's trying to take my head off. He was looking a little bit too far ahead, and he got caught speeding. It should be Usman, Leon 2, and Luque, Colby versus Luque. It should be, yes. It should be Leon right now, yes. But Dana White loves Colby. He's giving him the title fight. What else do we have there? Nate should pick Chiesa. Yeah, I mean, he would win that fight. I think Nate and Luque is a really fun fight. I really do. Quick question for Marcel. What's the Fat Scoops Al alluded to on Twitter days ago? Oh,
I can't, guys. Sorry, I can't say it. But it's a really good one.
I believe. How about you send it to me on Twitter, because I think I might know what you're talking about. Send me a DM, Marcel.
Yeah, it's the same. What you?
It's the same one. Okay.
Yeah.
I can't say anyone either, but hopefully we can get that news out soon. You'll definitely like it, Jose. I like it. It's good.
Yeah,
fight.
Me too.
Yeah, it's a good fight. So you'll like that one, but I can't say it because I don't want to break Al's scoop. It means my boy.
Same.
All right, let's go to the next fight. Actually, it was the fight before, but Aldo and Munhoz. We both called Aldo, but I think it was even more dominant than I expected. I thought it'd be a little bit more competitive.
I have Munhoz, man.
Yeah, man. I mean, Marcel Aldo, 30-27 across the board. Looked pretty damn good in this fight, man. He really did. And, I mean, it's crazy, right? Like a year ago, he was getting his face smashed in by Peter Yan. The fight, it was such a brutal stoppage that Leon Roberts, the referee, never reffed again for the UFC. Dana White, remember he freaked out and was like, that was the latest stoppage. Like, Jose took such a beating. And I really thought that Jose would have been – I thought he was done after that fight, guys. I honestly did. And beats Vera, and then after seeing him beat Vera, I was like, okay, I think he's still got something in the tank. But he looked even better than I thought in this fight. He looked incredible. Marcel, what do you think of his performance, man? I thought he looked great. He called out TJ Dillashaw after. What do you think?
Yeah, I picked Munhoz to win in this fight, so I didn't pick Aldo. But, dude, he kind of looked like vintage Aldo to me, man. Without the stoppage, like he always had when he was vintage Aldo, but really technical, really good. Landed some good shots to Munhoz, great combinations. Really good, man. And, yeah, I know he called out TJ Dillashaw, but we all know TJ Dillashaw has Dana White privilege, so he will fight next for a title, I think. So I think they will do probably Jose Aldo against Rob Font, which would be a great fight as well.
Yeah, I agree. Jose's got a good point. He's saying he's like a cheat code. Crazy good takedown defense, striking defense, and lots of experience. I agree. But I'll say is, I was going to say, there's a point that I was thinking about I wanted to make today. How good is Peter Yan? Because he destroyed Jose Aldo in that 5th round. Like, I think there was only one round of the fight. I want to say it was the 2nd round where Aldo was landing some kicks and stuff that was like competitive, but Yan dominated him, and Yan is a big favorite again to win the belt against Sterling. He really should be the champ right now. Anyways, yeah, I mean, Aldo and Munhoz, let's move on from that one. Torres and Angela Hill, talk about this one quickly. Torres looked really good in this fight, but I'm not saying she's going to get a title shot off this fight, but she definitely has proven that 4-fight losing skid's a long time ago now. 3-fight winning streak, and beats Hill in a rematch here. Marcel, any thoughts on this fight?
This is the first time in 4 years that Angela Hill hasn't complained about a decision she got against her. So that means Torres was really the better one, and Torres really fought well, man. She I wouldn't say dominated, but she clearly won 3 rounds. So
yeah.
A really good win for Torres, and I think Torres has looked good, man. In the last 3 fights, she won against Sam Hughes and against Brianna Van Buren. She looked good. And it was the fights before she fought pretty much top ranked girls, and yeah, she lost those. And people were like, she's probably she's not in her prime anymore. She's declining, but I mean, she fought against really good girls, and now she's on a 3-fight win streak again. And let's see what she can do next, man. I mean, it was a good fight. It was very solid striking by her again, and yeah, I really like what I saw.
I agree. Born Again says he wants to see Aldo fought. That'd be a good fight too. I'd like to see that. But he wants TJ. TJ's hurt right now though. Like he got banged up in that fight. So I don't know. Sandhagen and Aldo would be good too. I would watch that.
TJ getting a title shot, man.
The one fight I don't want to see though, I don't want to see Frankie fight Aldo again at 130. I just have no interest in seeing those guys fight again. Please don't book that fight.
Who was the journalist who said let's do Aldo McGregor 2 in the featherweight division on Twitter? I don't know who that said.
I don't know who said it, man. That's just dumb.
Somebody said it. I don't know.
Jose says, would you be more excited about Jan Aldo 2 with Aldo being more acclaimed at bantamweight? Probably. I mean, like, you look at that Marlon Moraes fight. I was at that fight. I still thought he won that fight, but, like, if he fights Marlon again, he knocks Marlon out, I think, in the first round. Like, it's almost crazy Marlon survived the 15. He's saying Amanda Lemos versus Torres. Sure, I'd watch that. Although I'm sure Torres wants a ranked fighter, but I'd watch that because I think Lemos is dangerous.
Lemos ranked.
Yeah. If Yang wants the belt back, Aldo versus Aljo. Aldo versus Aljo. I think it's like it almost sells itself. You got to put that in a poster. Marcus is here. He says, I don't think Angela Hill's ever beaten the top 10 fighter division. If you asked her, she's the number one contender. But I mean, the girl's been in some competitive fight. There's no doubt about it. Against the Waterson Gadea fights were competitive, but she still lost. Her best win in her career is, I guess, Lavina Renata Souza, I would say, probably, right? In Invicta. I guess that would be her best win. Her best win in the UFC.
Ronda Marcos.
Boy, these are, you look, okay, listen, I'm going to give Hill credit. She fights everyone, right? And you can't really finish her, except for Randa finished her, but she's hard to finish. But you look at the wins, Yoder, who's like, I'm sorry, but I don't think she's even UFC caliber. Luke Boonmi, who's a good fighter. That's a good one, but undersized. She's a 105er, basically.
She's a 105er.
Anna Cyphers, who I don't even know how she's still in the UFC. Carter Losi, who's good, but again, a smaller fighter. Escobar, who went 0-4 in the UFC. Moroz, who's okay, I guess. And Yoder, again. Those are her wins. They're really not good wins. Yeah, she probably should have got one of the decisions against Gadea, I guess. I think that was the fight a lot of us thought she did probably win. But she lost. She lost. So it is what it is, man. I mean, go ahead.
The thing with Gadea was, I think it was 1-1 going into the third. And the thing was, it was pretty even the third round, but the last minute, Gadea put more gas on it, in my opinion. And that's what won her the fight,
Yeah.
But it was close.
The problem with fighters like Hill, and the next thing I'll talk about, Casey Kenny, when you don't lack fight-ending power and stopping power, like, it's hard to win because you have to win on points, and that means you're at the risk of the judges not agreeing with the way you perform. You thought you won, but the judges didn't agree. Now, I know that Hill does have a few finishes, but they weren't like one-punch finishes. And let's talk about this guy, Casey Kenny, because he lost another split decision, Marcel. And to me, it's the same. And this is why I was worried about him here. I did pick him to win, but I was really worried the fight was going to be like this just because, I love this guy. But again, he has no power, Marcel. He's just a point fighter. That's the problem I have with Casey, guys. Like, he's a fun guy to watch, but to me, there's no pop there. You look at his career, Marcel. I mean, I like the guy, but he's only 5-3 in the UFC. It's not like a great record by any means. I don't know, man. What do you think about this guy? Because he goes in there, he loses to Song Yadong. I'm not saying Song's bad. Song is really good. He's only 23 too. But Casey, I don't know, man. A lot of us thought a few years, last year when he beat Nathaniel Wood, this is the guy. But Marcel, he hasn't changed his style at all. He hasn't added anything. It's just still the same volume type kicking from the outside, and you can game plan for that now. So give me your thoughts on this guy.
I'm just happy Song finally won a fight he actually won. So,
and the judges almost screwed him too. They almost did.
Yeah, almost the other way around. But yeah, he deservedly won this fight. He looked good, man. I don't know, man. Casey Kenny. The thing is, I always say in a close fight, which I still think Yadong won this fight, but maybe in his own mind it was a close fight, and he thought, listen, man, fighters always think that their shots they're throwing are better and harder than what they were receiving. You know what I mean? So there's like, oh, that doesn't hurt me. But we see it as legit shots to the face. You know what I mean? And fighters are maybe like, yeah, that's not that hard. And then they throw something. It's like, oh, I hit him crazy there, And that's maybe why Casey thought that he won. But I think it was a clear win for Song. Got to be honest here, man. I think I had either 29-28 or 30-27, but I definitely 2 rounds for Song, and one was a 50-50 one. So yeah, really, I think good performance for Song and Kenny. Yeah, he doesn't seem to can get to the top 10. He had a split decision loss to Cruz. Now against Song, he lost convincingly to Merab Dvalishvili. He got pretty much dominated if I'm correct, right? So. Yeah, the thing is, he really needs to. He needs to. I think he needs to change some things, man,
Yeah.
to get further in this division.
All right, let me get these comments. There's a couple here. Jose says he would confidently pick Aldo to beat Aljo because of the style matchup. That'd be an interesting fight. Borgen says Edgar Cruz needs to happen. I would like to see that. The footwork would be fun to watch, even though they're older guys now. It'll still be a good fight. Aldo and Cruz would be good too, Marcus. I mean, any of these fights for Aldo, all these Legends fights, and Cruz wants a big fight like that, so I'd watch it. Jose says, I think Sean turned on Frankie. Yeah, I think that's so too because he was supposed to fight in New York. Sean Shelby was like, okay, go and hang out with 69 instead. I don't know if you saw that. You saw that, right? You didn't see this? Oh, so Sean O'Malley said that Sean Shelby asked him to fight at UFC 268. He said no because of the taxes. He said go hang out with 69 instead. The guy who got the tattoo.
That rapper. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what he said. So, I mean, it just like Sean even said in the interviews, like, I understand I'm not bigger than the UFC. They don't need me, but he's like, I don't want to fight in New York because the taxes are going to eat my money, my purse up, right? So I can understand that, but I do think he was one. I think it was the Frankie fight too because that was the fight Ali was trying to get all over like Twitter the last month or so, right? Frankie Edgar even called him up personally. So Kenny, your dog was only minus 160 decision. I did bet on that. It was one of the better bets I made in the card.
I don't know why the UFC doesn't do Sean O'Malley against Ricky Simone. Why not?
Yeah, I mean that'd be good too. But Ricky's fighting Kelleher.
No, he was supposed to. This is actually a fun story.
Oh.
So the UFC press release that was released like 1.5 weeks ago had Ricky Simone on it against Timur Valiev. So I posted it, and I got a DM immediately. I'm not going to say from who, but it's like this fight is never in talks. Hasn't even happened. We haven't agreed on it, and the contracts are not signed. It's like, whoa, okay, crazy. So I was like, should I delete it? It's like, no, let it stand. Maybe we can get it materialized somehow. Okay. So yesterday I got the call. I got the message like, yeah, it's not going to happen. It was never officially or agreed on, and it was never going to happen anyway. So I also tweeted it out yesterday that the fight is definitely off and not going to happen. So crazy, man! It wasn't the UFC press release.
That's crazy. That is, I mean, it's not like they've jumped. It's not like they haven't jumped the gun before. You know what I mean? Like they always put these fights out to kind of create pressure on the fighters to accept the fight too, which I hate, but. Kevin says O'Malley's broke the record of becoming the biggest douche in the sport so far. Well, I mean, I like watching fight, man, but the stuff outside the cage, I'm with you. Some of the stuff he said and done is really just stupid. Like the time he was holding his I think his daughter or son and talking about doing heroin, that's just bizarre, man. That is super weird. You know what I mean? Like, it's such a bad look. So, and hanging out with that dude who was, you saw what Sean Strickland said about him, guys. I mean, he's not wrong. So,
Sean O'Malley is a typical guy from the current generation. Do things is awesome, you know what I mean? But it's not from my generation. No disrespect, you can like whoever you want, but he's a typical guy for the current, like 15, 20 years old. Those people look up to him, you know. But
yeah,
I'm already in my 30s, so I don't really feel that bullshit, you know. So I understand it's for different people, I think.
I just enjoy watching him fight, man. But the stuff,
he's a good fighter.
The antics, I agree. Some of the stuff he said is dumb. The tattoo is stupid. But again, the fighting inside the cage, the guy's good. All right, let's go to the prelims, Marcel. Let's start with this fight: Rafael Fiziev against Bobby Green.
That fight sucked.
Yeah. I mean, it was an absolute war. You know what's interesting is that the striking stats had Green landing like 140 to 100 strikes, so significant strikes. So if you look at the stats, like, she should have won the fight, I guess. But we saw the fight. I thought this was a clear 29-28 Fiziev because the first 2 rounds he landed the harder shots and did more damage. Third round, though, the volume was just too much for him to overcome. Now, there's a judge that's come out and said that he's provided an explanation. The guy, I think his name's Josh Ferreira, JJ Ferrero, I believe his name is. He's the judge, one of the judges. A lot of us don't even know who this guy is, right? He's a Texas judge. Now, I respect this judge for actually coming out and writing something on Twitter saying, explaining why in like 4 pages why exactly he scored the third round for Fiziev. But I'm just not buying it because he was talking about how, in his view, the effective striking was equal in the third round. How can you say that watching that fight? There's no way you could say it was an equal round of effective striking. And because it was, he said he went to aggression. He thought that was equal. He went to octagon control. And because Fiziev was the one controlling the center of the cage, he gave the round to him. Come on. This is an easy fight to score. 29-28 Fiziev. First round Fiziev. Second round Fiziev. Third round Green. I just think it's an easy fight to score. I don't think there's any, I don't see how there had to be any controversy at all. Now, I respect this guy for coming out and saying it, but he's kind of doubling down on it seems like a bad take. So Give me your thought, man, because to me it was clear as day, 29-28, guys.
It is a bad take, man. I mean, I also respect him for coming out, for telling a story and how he scored it and why.
Yep.
Funny thing, in the first part of the story was like, you have to cancel out all. He said you have to cancel out all sounds as a viewer. All sounds. Don't listen to the commentary. Watch it for yourself. And at the same time, he's saying, "Yeah, but I was cage side, so I hear the impact of the shots." I was like, "Dude, you're pretty much talking against what you just said." So, yeah, okay, you can have an opinion on that, but doesn't mean your opinion is right. I think, listen, man. I say this all the time. This is disrespecting the guy. You can have your whole wall filled with all certificates you have, but if a fight is clear 29-28, and 99% of the people say it's 29-28, and you say it's 30-27, you might have to reconsider and watch it again to maybe that you had the wrong opinion on it,
Yeah.
And since you're not Albert Einstein or you're not Julius Caesar, Cleopatra, or whatever world famous figure, you might be wrong, or somebody who had something like Pythagoras or whatever, you might consider rewatching it and be more critical on yourself with scoring, and there's no disrespect at all, I mean, he's doing a job, and he's trying to do his best. I'm 100% sure he's trying to do his best, but it was as clear as hell that Bobby Green won the third round, man. Come on. It's just, you didn't even have to go to the third, fourth, or fifth criteria.
That's what I'm saying. Why did he need to go to control? Like, you didn't need to get that far. You could have determined the winner because of the effective striking. Anyways, it is what it is. But I'm glad he went and made the explanation. We shouldn't give the guy too much shit for at least explaining it. I don't agree with the explanation, though. You know what I mean?
Listen, for if you want to run a fight where you could go with control, the next fight is Morales against Rodriguez.
Yeah, let's talk about that one. Let's just talk about it right now. Let's talk about that fight. So Morales wins a decision. I did pick him to win this fight. I knew it would be close, but I thought 29-28 was a good score. What did you think, 30-27 or 29-28?
I had 29-28 for Morales, as I picked Rodriguez before the fight. But Morales did very well, man. I think the first round Morales, second round Rodriguez, third round Morales. Yeah. Morales won it more, in my opinion, and he went for it in the third round, and he got the decision, which he deserved.
And like I said in my breakdown, like for that fight, I didn't really remember a lot about him, so I had to go back and watch his fights, and I just thought he was the better striker. That's why I picked him in this fight. But I thought it looked good. It wasn't that to me was one of the low points on the card. I didn't think that was the most exciting fight.
It wasn't a bad fight, but it was pretty much the worst fight on the card.
Exactly. That's a fair thing to say, I would say. Yeah, it wasn't the worst fight ever, but on a card where there's a lot of good fights, it kind of like that was the fight where I was just eating my dinner, I'll be honest.
It looked more like a little bit of a sparring match.
It kind of did. Again, it looked like Morales just wanted it more. Easy fight. He's talking about the last fight, Green Fiziev. Strickland said that O'Malley's a douche for putting the 69 tattoo and saying that the guy's convicted of taping an underage child, which is true. You can go and read about that. So a lot of people trying to give it to Green. No, I mean 29-28 for Fiziev. It's just an easy scorecard. I was glad they got at least the two judges got it right. What?
There's nothing worse than people after a fight. When I saw it as well, that Bobby Green had posted on his Instagram, like I think he posted a picture with Fiziev or video clip, I don't know, and then people behind under it. Oh, dude, you definitely won the fight. You got robbed again. I was like, dude, shut the fuck up.
I know.
Robbed. I hate that so much. If you really think somebody won, I don't mind you say it, but don't say it to be I don't know how you say it in English. We call it we call it a cunt liquor, which pretty much means an ass liquor. But don't be like that,
Yeah, boot liquor, I think they call it, or ass kisser. Ass kisser.
Ass kisser. That's we call it an ass liquor in the Netherlands. So,
That's funny. Kenshiro says, "Do we doubt MMA judges have friends and family betting money on some fights where they can rig a decision?" I don't think we can put it past them, but I'm not saying this guy did. But there's no point. I mean, I just think it was a misjudged round. But that's all. I'm glad it didn't affect the score of the fight. If he did, that would be a lot more controversial. You know what I mean? Let's talk about this fight now. This actually, I really enjoyed this fight. I can't believe the crowd booed at some point during this fight, but Alonzo Menefield and Ed Herman was a good fight, Marcel. I thought it was a bit of a war. Menefield basically was doing everything he could to knock Herman out, but Herman's a fucking zombie, man. He kept walking forward. The problem was the leg was compromised so early in the fight that he just couldn't move around. Once the leg was gone, I think Herman just was dead. And I did think Herman could win this fight. And I don't think he had a bad read on the fight. It's just that in the bigger cage, I think that it suited Menifield's point fighting style in this particular fight. If this was in the smaller cage, I do think Herman could have got to him, closed the distance, and got him in the clinch, which I thought where he was going to fight him. But in the big cage, Menifield did a really good job of circling away from Herman's power for the most part, landing shots from the outside. You know what? Even though Menifield, this is his first decision win, I almost feel like this is his most impressive performance in some ways, Marcel. Like, because to me, it answered some questions. I didn't think he could go 15 minutes, and he did. And he looked good in this fight, and he showed a chin in this fight too. I enjoyed this fight a lot. What did you think of this fight, man?
Menifield finally find a way to pace himself, to not go like full broke in the first round and be gassed in the second and third. And it had a lot to do with Saif Saud in his corner as well. You heard Saif saying, like, don't go for full, keep picking your shots, be patient, more patient. And I think I don't think Saif was in his corner the last two fights because of COVID as well. So he clearly needed that, and he did it perfectly. I think Herman is super tough. Dude looked like he had a balloon on his lower leg, and he keep coming. That's at Herman. He's super tough. He's a veteran, and that's also why everybody pretty much loves Ed Herman, because if he comes to fight, and he comes to take you out, and awesome fight. I also love the friendship between the two guys after the fight as well. Very, very nice to each other, and great fight, man.
Me too. It sucks I lost some money on this one because I honestly thought Herman could win this fight, and I thought there'd be a finish too. It is what it is. I enjoyed the fight, and that's ultimately what is a good thing about it, because even though it'd be nicer if I won some money on it, guys, but at least I enjoyed the fight. It was a great fight. You know what I mean? What do you think's next for Menifield? I don't think he's ranked, but I almost feel like he's borderline top 15, I want to say, because he did knock out Paul Craig, right? So what do you think's next for him?
Maybe the winner of Mershard against Muradov.
Okay.
That's light heavyweight.
That's at 185.
Yeah.
What about
tripping.
Is Krylov fighting anyone anytime soon? Is Krylov
No, I
available?
don't think he is.
I think that would be a good fight, right? Krylov and Menifield. I'd watch that. Would you watch that? I'd watch that fight.
Yeah, why not? Yeah,
it'd be a fun one. Look at this comment. If Menifield didn't invest early in calf kicks, Herman would have won. I actually think you're probably right, born again, but again, fair play to the guy. He had a really good game plan. He's got a really, really good coach, as we know, Saif, one of the best in the game, smart mind. But again, Ed Herman, he really is one of these guys, Marcel. You have to almost fight him to the death in some ways. You know what I mean? Like, he's not going to just lose. Like, he's not going to just give up. Like, you have to, remember when Krylov knocked him out? It was a head kick that put him out cold. That's about the only time he's been finished, and Brunson swarmed him, and that's it. He's almost impossible to finish. So a lot of people are pissed at Menifield. I've seen the comments because they think he didn't want to finish him. He was playing it safe and didn't. I don't think that was the case at all. I just think he couldn't finish this guy. Like, he's impossible to knock out, basically. And the leg, even though it was so destroyed, Ed wasn't going to give up. And I will say this. I'm watching with my fiance and my mom, and we're watching the fight together, and they were like, you got to stop this fight for the leg. And I'm like, when has a fight ever been stopped for like a bruise or like a hematoma in a leg? I've never seen that happen. So I'm glad the ref didn't stop the fight, because I think a lot of people thought he was going to stop it. I'm glad they didn't stop the fight. But yeah, I enjoyed the fight, man. Let's go to the next one here.
The funny thing is, I think how longer the fight went, Ed could stand better on his leg. At a certain moment, he was like, I can't barely stand on my leg. But how longer the fight went, he could stand better on his leg. So I'm actually happy they didn't stop it.
I enjoyed the fight. And again, I have a lot of respect for this guy. He's been in the UFC since 2006. He's still fighting at a pretty high level. The guy's really good, man. He's an underrated kind of. Would you consider him a legend, Marcel? A pioneer? What would you call that, Herman? What would you call him?
A pioneer, a veteran, a legend.
Legend's too much, I think, too. I'm with you. Yeah,
but definitely, there should be some Hall of Fame.
It's like between the two, right? Like, it's here and then here. He's more than a gatekeeper, but he's less than a legend, right?
You should have a Hall of Fame kind of stuff for these kind of guys, like a Chris
Lieben, someone like that. Chris Lieben,
Diego Sanchez, Jim Miller. But
they need to have a different wing for that. You're right. They should be they have the pioneer wing, but this is almost a different. It's like a veterans wing, if anything, or something like that. I'm with you. I agree completely. Menifield Bukowskis. Sure, I'd watch that. Menifield Serkinov. Yeah, I mean, I think Menifield knocked Serkinov out at this point. I love Nishi, he's my boy, but Boy, I don't know, but I don't know about Misha anymore, man. He's suspended for weed right now. He smoked weed and got suspended before the rules changed. Poor guy. After Bukowskis beats Roundtree, yeah, that's gonna be a war too. Let's go with this fight because this one did not go the way I expected. Jessica Penne submitting Caroline in the first round in a vicious way with an armbar. Holy fuck! I mean, what an amazing performance by Penne. I didn't expect this, Marcel. This was to me that there's always a surprise on every card. And to me, it was Jessica Penne. It's not that I didn't think she could win. I thought it'd be a competitive fight. I thought maybe she could win decision. I did not expect her to get her first finish in 8 years against Caroline, who's almost impossible to finish. That's the second time Caroline's been submitted, but she's very difficult to finish. Marcel, I did not see the fight playing out this way, but all credit to Jessica Penne. Glad she got the bonus. She needs that money after missing 4 years. Give me your thoughts, man. Pavlo also went in 5, so we're all the same. What are you going to say?
Very well done by Penne, but what a stupid decision by Carolina going to the ground with her. I think she has much better standing. And man, I have a friend over here in the Netherlands. He's a huge Carolina fan, and he is still upset about it. Like we are now on Monday, and he's still upset about it. But I mean, yeah, I honestly think I don't know if we see Carolina back, to be really honest, man. And she's now. Yeah. I know the UFC likes her and the fans like her, but this is a fight she definitely should have won. You know what I mean? To be still in that, to be still considered being maybe getting back in the top 10. And Penne won this fight, and I think Penne has also passed her prime. But she did great in this fight. She finished the fight. But if you look at her last fight against Lupita Godinez, I still think she lost that fight. And this is a great win for her, much deserved 50K. We talked about it via DM as well, right after the fight, I remember. Yeah, deserved 50K, very well done by her. But yeah, I don't know, man. This is pretty much Jessica Penne, who is 39, against a Carolina Kowalkiewicz, who hasn't looked good since forever. So... Yeah. So hard to see to measure where this win brings Penne right now in the division. I have no idea.
I mean, I would imagine it lands a ranked opponent, right? Like I would guess. So, but for Carolina, she had the video come out. She's in tears, talking about how she's thinking about what's next for her life. I think she's done, guys. I was done with the UFC for sure. The only thing I could think is maybe KSW. Maybe she'll take a fight in Poland at home. That would be the only thing I could think. Maybe a retirement fight, if anything. I don't want to see her fight anymore because she's taking a lot of damage. And this fight, that was brutal. That armbar was nasty. Like, I thought her arm was completely gone. You know what I mean? The way it ended, it looked like she was knocked out from the armbar. The way she just lied back. I was like, when I saw her lying there, I'm like, I think this is the end of her career. And then she goes on Instagram and is crying. Let me get these comments. Penne, Carolina's decision was the only bad play. A lot of people thought that was going to happen. Carolina is successful. Hope she's successful wherever she does. Told you guys about Penne, good call there. I'm late, but I play to say Fiziev. Yeah, Fiziev's good, but again, the cardio does bother me, Marcel. I didn't mention that earlier, but his cardio worries me against guys that could push the pace in a 5-round fight. I'll say that. Boring again, PFL preview. We'll talk about it tomorrow. Dana said it's over. Carolina doesn't ride with losers. I mean, it's harsh, but she's lost 5 in a row. They don't keep around. You keep people around for more than 5 losses in a row. I mean, that's usually you might get 4. You never get 5. Like BJ Penn, I think got 5. And she'll get, and there's a few other fighters, very few. All right, we only have a few minutes left, but let's get through the early prelims. Manel Cape, I mean, listen, he looked amazing, but he missed weight, guys. So I'm not sure what to take away from this performance because don't get me wrong. What do you say?
That was something I didn't really think he looked amazing. He had a great knockout.
Well, yeah, I mean, sorry,
awesome.
It was competitive up until the knockout, but as someone who bet on Osborne, you know what I mean? Like, so I appreciate what you're saying, Marcel. It was competitive. They literally landed both 18 strikes, but the 19th strike was the flying knee that knocked him out. So, yeah, I mean, he would have won 50,000 if he made weight. So to me, it's like you miss weight. What is this? What does it really say? That's the only problem I have with it.
Listen, Cap is a good fighter, but dude was talking a lot of crap after his win, and I was like, dude, you miss weight. B, you lost your first 2 fights. It's your first win, officially win in the UFC.
Yeah.
Just chill, man. You get your chance. If you win 3 or 4, you probably get your chance. You know what I mean? And this division, it's still only like 25 fighters. So you will get your chance if you get another win like this or 2 wins like this,
Yeah. I just checked Bobby. He's 1-5-1, but he's always in Dana White loves Bobby Green. He likes Carolina too, but at least Bobby had a win in that streak, Pablo. So I know you're saying, but Carolina's lost 5 in a row, and she just got fit. That's why I think
there's also a difference with. Listen, man, I love Carolina as well, but there's also a difference. Bobby Green was almost competitive in all of those fights he lost, and Carolina, in a lot of those fights, was very one-sided, man.
Yeah.
And I think in one or two not, but it didn't really look good. And Green, if Green comes and you're not on your best, you probably you lost to Green,
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Green can still compete with these guys. You saw against Fiziev, he lost the first 2 rounds. He won the 3rd round, in my opinion, and everybody else's opinion despite the referee, or the judge. But yeah, that's what I think.
I agree. We only got 5 minutes left. Let's just talk about these first couple quick. Miles Johns knocks out Anderson Dos Santos. I mean, listen, this fight did not need to get to the 3rd round. Dos Santos, he broke his leg in the 1st round with those nasty kicks. Dude has a lot of heart. I have no idea he's still walking forward with a broken leg. That's insane. But he even said, he's like, the corner wanted to stop the fight and throw the towel, and I refused to let them do it. I wanted to fight until the death, basically. I mean, I respect the mindset. Marcel, he's a warrior. Like, you have to be in the UFC, but the corner really should have saved this guy the 3rd round. They did not need to see him get brutally knocked out. But Miles Johns, born against, he's top 15 soon. I agree. This guy's fantastic. Big fan of him. And then the other 2 fights, Marcel, Melissa Gatto, 2nd round TKO win over Leonardo after she broke her arm again. 2 broken arms this poor girl's had in the same year. That's brutal.
Adam.
And then Johnny Munhoz defeats Jamie Simmons by rear naked choke. What were you going to say?
Will you score the 1st round for Gatto or Leonardo?
Oh, okay. So I think I tweeted saying, we know how the judges are going to score us, don't we, guys? Because, at least 2 of them got it right. They gave it to Gatto. One gave it to Leonardo. Now, Leonardo had the top control, but it doesn't matter because Gatto was the one doing all the work from the bottom. So to me, it's like, who scored that? I'm going to see what judge scored that round. I generally know who it would be because it wouldn't be on NBA decisions now. But
it was Danny De Alejandro. It's
just a dumb scorecard. I mean, it's pretty clear it was Gatto's fight. Anyway, she looked good. Like I said, Johns looked good. Dos Santos is getting cut. This guy is the worst striking defense I've ever seen. He just stood there and got kicked in the leg for 3 rounds. It was crazy. Johnny Munhoz looked good. Jamie Simmons is going to get cut. I think. Mark, you think he gets cut? Jamie Simmons?
Maybe one more, but not sure.
I hope they keep Leonardo around. It's not her fault her arm broke, but she shouldn't have rushed back so fast, man. She broke her arm in January. That's a quick that's a quick return.
Listen, if the doctor gave her permission
for sure. And I broke my arm once too. I broke my arm and the only time I ever had a fight in Muay Thai, I had a fight, I think it was like a year later after it. But it was a year. It wasn't 6-7 months. To me, it was a little bit rushed, but again, her doctor cleared the fight, but she re-broke the same arm and has to have surgery now. That's not good. Anyways, man, I mean, overall, even though it wasn't my greatest night for predictions by any means, it was still a good card, and I enjoyed most of the card. So any last thoughts on UFC 265 before we move on?
Great card. Really, really, really fun card. I enjoyed it a lot. I was in bed at 7:10 a.m. in the morning. So, and I didn't, how do you say that? Didn't close my eyes once, so it was a good card.
Oh, you didn't fall asleep during, what was it? Morales, right? That was the fight you said wasn't the best one, right?
Yeah, no, I didn't fall asleep.
Okay, all right, Marcel. Plug your stuff. Let's get out of here.
Big Marcel24 on Twitter and Instagram, MMADNA.nl on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook.
Awesome. Okay, you guys can follow me on Twitter at MMADamMartin Podcast, MMAOddsRadio.com, so our YouTube channel, iTunes, Spotify, a bunch of places. BJPen.com back at work now this week, doing the news, MiamiNews.com. There's no UFC this week, but we're going to talk about PFL and Bellator tomorrow, which I'll talk about with Marcel at 4 p.m. Eastern, so same time as usual. I'm looking forward to talking about that with you, Marcel. In the meantime, guys, I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Have a great day. Peace out.